G'day. Emirates Airlines has 3 different first class offerings. Today I'm taking 2 first class flights. This one being on a Boeing 777 and the second on an Airbus A380. Welcome on board EK720. This is from Nairobi to Dubai. It's on a Boeing 777 and in first class there are 8 suites. But Emirates has 2 different cabin layouts on their 777s. This one is the lesser of the 2, but I'll go into the better cabin a little later in this video. Now on both of today's flights I'll get lounge access. In Nairobi, Emirates first customers get to use the Plaza Premium Lounge. It's opposite gate 4. Now this is new, but I'd rate it 5 out of 10. It's certainly better than the Turkish Airlines lounge that we used last year. Average food and drinks, yes, but it does have views over the apron and the air conditioning is fantastic. But it pales in comparison to the Emirates first lounges in Dubai Airport, but I'll go into those in a bit more detail later. Now this cabin's in a 1-2-1 layout. It's cozy, only 2 rows of seats, and certainly more private than that of the A380, which has 14 suites. Business class is just behind where we're sitting here. Staff ratio, you're probably thinking, how many crew for you 8 passengers? 3. And what I like about this cabin is there are no overhead lockers. So you get this roomy, expansive feel, and it's certainly a higher ceiling than what we get in the A380 first class. But given there are no overhead lockers, where do you store your baggage? Just down here at your feet. There's an area here where you can strap in your hand luggage. And there's also a smaller compartment back here for some of your tinier items. Now the suites on the 777 compared with the A380 are pretty much identical. Yes, you get a wardrobe here, you get a mini bar with some drinks, but that's not refrigerated, that's room temperature. Of course you can always get ice to cool down your beverages. You get these Bowers & Wilkins headphones and they're noise cancelling. Slippers are provided along with pyjamas. Now before we get too far into this flight, let me tell you that I've booked 2 sectors. Nairobi to Dubai is a paid seat. This is the second half of a return fare. Then I've got Dubai to Perth. I paid about 4,000 Aussie dollars for the return flight Dubai, Nairobi, Dubai. That's about 2,700 US. But on the way over, I took the opportunity to upgrade for 1,600 Aussie. But coming back, the upgrade was 2,600. However, I got my son's girlfriend, Bree, who was travelling with us, upgraded for a mere 40,000 miles. But on the next leg, I used Qantas frequent flyer points. It was about 129,000. But I could have got 130,000 points by simply getting this Qantas Business Rewards credit card. And what is the Perth fare, Perth Nairobi first class? About 12,000 US dollars. So clearly I got a pretty good deal with some points and some cash. Just after we sat down, we were offered a glass of champagne, and today we're drinking Dom Perignon 2013. Cold and delicious. Also waiting at my seat was this basket of goodies. Now there's not a lot of airlines that still offer first class. It's certainly a product that's being phased out, but in the last couple of years I've flown the likes of American, Qatar, Qantas, Lufthansa, Swiss, BA and Cathay Pacific. Also offering first Air France, ANA, Garuda, Korean, JAL, Singapore and Etihad. And there might be a couple of others as well. So where does this product stand in relation to those different airlines? Well, I haven't flown Singapore or Etihad, but I believe those 2 to be the clear standout winners. Etihad's the Residence, sounds amazing. And next year, 2025, I'm doing a sector with Singapore Airlines on their suite. Now there are only 6 of those suites in their first class, whereas in this cabin here there are 8, and obviously in the next flight there's going to be 14. So I imagine with just 6 suites, it's going to be sensational. But if you take those 2 out of the mix, certainly this product is one of the very best. Not so much this 777, but the other 777 product, which I'll go into a little bit later. Still on the subject of other airlines, Qantas and Lufthansa have upgrades to their first class cabins coming out in the next year, and I think they will be game changers. I think both of them will eclipse this. But if that's the case, I'd be very interested to learn what Emirates are going to do to trump those products. But another thing you want to know, Emirates offers chauffeur drive with this product. So they'll pick you up from your home and they'll drop you back when you land at your destination. I'm not sure that's at every port, but certainly I use it in Perth and it's fantastic in Dubai. But because I'm using points on my flight home through Qantas, you don't get the transfer But I should get a meet and greet at Dubai Airport, so I'll be very keen to find out whether that's indeed included. Now, I don't recollect another airline that offers a basket full of goodies in your suite, or at your seat even. But my favourite treat out of all these is definitely these licorice balls with different flavourings around the outside. They didn't last too long. Now, the suite on the 777 and the A380 are very similar. You get a decorative lamp, an orchid, a pen and notebook, these products, along with a makeup mirror. I don't know whether anyone's ever put makeup on in front of that mirror. And food and drink wise, we've already got the food menu and the wine menu to have a look at. And one thing anybody flying first class will love is the fact that you can dine when it suits you. Most airlines determine when you should eat, but up here, you get to determine that. One of the other pluses is, because I've got 2A, which is obviously a window seat, I get 3 of them. If you're in the middle, it's a situation where you can lower the divider and 2 of you can talk to each other. Well, good people, we are airborne now, so let's quickly run through the wine list. There are 11 bottles of wine that you can drink from. 1 champagne, 4 whites, 5 reds, a dessert and a port. But if you decide you want a mouthful out of every one of these wines, the crew will gladly open the bottle for you. Now, these are the amenities kit, men's, women's. Oh, and a reminder with the amenities kit, you don't automatically get given one of these, say, on a 5-hour flight during the day. I had to ask for mine, and they're more than happy to hand them out. Obviously, if they don't have to hand out 2 or 3 at a flight, it saves the airline some money. Let's talk in-flight entertainment system. It's one of the best in the world. There is so much content available to you. Even on the longest flight with Emirates, you'll find that there's more than ample to keep you entertained. And that's for the whole plane, not just for first or business. Now, this is a true suite in so much as these doors can be opened and closed, and it creates this lovely private feeling. But I mentioned before, this is not the best suite, because on the 777 that I flew a couple of years ago, and it is, I think, I'm not sure how many routes, but I'm guessing maybe 5 to 10 routes only have that plane. The doors go right to the ceiling, and it is fully enclosed. So let's have a look at the toilets on board. There are 2 toilets up here in first class. They're identical. Yes, you get a whole lot of amenities like shavers, moisturising cream, toothbrushes. There's a couple of fragrances that you can use at your leisure. There's tissues, cloth towels, soap obviously, and an attendant call button if you get into strife. I went back to business class to check out their toilets, only 2 for 42 passengers, and pretty much the same layout with the same condiments as first class. But in economy, there are just 8 toilets for 310 people. And whilst it's pretty much the same layout, there are no amenities in there. And for the moisturiser and the fragrance I offer, which is a nice touch, they lock that up. Why? Well, I'm guessing they think it might get swiped. No way you're getting into this. 40 minutes into the flight, and we've been offered some of the tastiest chips I've had in a long time. That's a chili flavour, and a whole host of nuts, of which I pick out primarily the macadamias. I love them. And this is what your table looks like when it's set for dinner. Oh, and this was a scallop, and this was an artichoke with some pumpkin, I think. It doesn't matter whether you're flying the 777 or the A380 in first, or if you're flying into or out of Dubai, you'll always find caviar on the menu, and it's an ornate spread. It's a real thrill, and even if you're not a caviar eater, which I'm not, I quite enjoy the spectacle of this whole thing where you take a blini, you put a bit of sour cream on, dip it in one of the condiments, whack some caviar on there, hopefully get it all in my mouth. Oh, a little bit missed. No spectacular. And there's the little touches like the lemon has got the little strips taken out of it. Oh, and their bread is first class. And I noticed that these are reasonably new, certainly in the last year. And another thing that accompanies the caviar is a shot of vodka, but I'm not a vodka man. Wow, that was an epic starter. Although I am told that that wasn't sour cream, that was creme fraiche. And as you can see here, can you see this? Right, there you go. No mess left on the tablecloth. That is almost unheard of. And for main course, I chose the groper with dill. Also was served with lemon caper cream, tomato pilaf and butter glazed sugar snap peas. 7.7 out of 10. But I tell you what, I give the actual operating system for the audio visual, like this thing here, 3 out of 10. It's a shocking system. I didn't have any dessert tonight, but after the meal they brought around this magnificent tray of chocolates, of which I've selected these 4. And my favourite, this one. And another thing about the actual seat, when it's in the fully reclined position, there's about that much space between the end of the seat and the bulkhead. If you're only 5'8" or what is about 170 centimetres tall, that won't bother you. But if you're taller than that, your feet will hang over the edge. Thanks a bunch. Bye. Cheers. Well, what a delight to be met by someone I gather. At the end of this walkway, there will be a golf cart. Let's see if I'm correct. It's pretty cushy. You get this if you fly the 777 or the A380 into Dubai. Oh, and this is their end stop, only a journey of a minute. So having come off a flight, straight away it's through some security scanners for our next one. And take note, USA, you don't have to go and get your luggage. You don't have to clear customs. You don't have to recheck in. You just do one security screening. Such a joy. Well, having gone through security, our man's on the other side waiting for us, and we get to use the staff lifts. Well, after being walked from the arrival gate to the lounge, delighted to be back in what I think is probably the best lounge in the world. Although Doha First Class Lounge probably rivals it. Different feel for both of them. Anyway, this has, and I've done a video on this before, this magnificent area at both ends, which is pretty much hardly ever occupied. There's 2 sensational restaurants where you can order the likes of steaks, hamburgers, fish, the whole lot. There are several other little separate lounge areas and your own private duty-free stores. What makes this one of the great lounges in the world is that that's where I've been sitting, and over here behind me is where I'm boarding. Well, this is the Emirates A380 first class. There are 14 seats, as I mentioned before, much bigger cabin, quite noisy with the air conditioning, so that's why I'm down here on the stairwell. Now behind me are the 2 toilets that have showers in them. Now the other thing, this aircraft is painted blue. Now all Emirates aircraft are white, but this is a special NBA aircraft and it is quite spectacular to look at. Now a couple of differences with this suite compared with the 777. One, the screen. It is substantially larger. There's also a small area here for storage, and this area back here is a different shape than the other one. Not by much, and it's no big deal, but they are minor differences. Let's go through the differences between the first class and the business class amenities kits. Both include a razor and shaving foam, tissues in a dental kit, earplugs and a comb, Bulgari aftershave and body lotion, and a lip balm, white in one and black in the other. But what are the differences? A roll-on deodorant for business and a spray for first class, a refreshing towel for first only, and then there's the big difference, the fragrance. This is La Gemme, 30 mils. This one is in black and it's just 5 mils. But by the way, both of these kits are right up there with the very best that you'll find anywhere in the world. The first class kit, I've seen nothing better on a flight. Good people, I have 2 wine lists. This is from the 777, this is from the A380. And effectively, it doesn't matter what aircraft you're on, it's what route you're taking. This one was flying into Dubai, this one's flying out of Dubai. First flight, we had Dom Perignon 2013. For this one, 2015. There is a selection of 4 white wines on both flights, and none of the wines are repeated. Moving over to the red wine, there's 5 choices. I noticed too that there's an Australian wine. Oh no, there's actually 3 Australian reds on the flights going into Australia. None on the flights going into Dubai, and none of those wines are repeated. And the only wine to be repeated on both menus is a dessert wine from France, and the ports are both different. And looking now at the food menus, caviar is their signature offering, so that's on both menus. There's only one repeat on the appetizers, and that's the traditional Arabic meze. And for the main course, completely different options on the first flight to the second flight. Oh, and I nearly forgot dessert. Only one repeat, and that is the seasonal fruit. But on this longer flight, there is a movie snack menu, which is something you can order at any stage. Now, if you are hungry and don't want to wait for someone to serve you, you can serve yourself. Come on, I'll show you. Now, there are only a couple of airlines in the world that have lounges on board. Emirates is one of them, and down the back behind business class is this lounge. But essentially, if you're looking for a drink and a bit of chit chat, although it is a bit noisy, you can head down there. You can help yourself to some snacks, but up the front here in first class, there's a dedicated bar, self-serve, and those snacks that are down the back are also available up here. Now, a correction, there aren't 4 bathrooms in first, there are 3, and this is the third one, much smaller and obviously without a shower. So these are the stairs that lead up to the first class cabin. Down here is economy, up here is the cockpit, and let's have a look inside one of the economy toilets. Well, there's nothing wrong with this. This is an impressive economy toilet on a magnificent aircraft. Now at the back of the plane, this is the staircase that takes you up to the lounge. Permission to enter, please. So this is one of the 2 bathrooms, and they're identical, just mirrored. However, had this have been the tree design, that would have indicated that that is the newest livery for the A380. So this is a version prior. And will I have a shower on this flight? Maybe. I've asked for one 2 hours prior to landing, but my wife's more excited about the shower than I am. I can't be bothered getting undressed and dressed again and showered. You get 4 minutes, by the way, and it does give you a reminder at 3 that you have a minute to go. And if you haven't rinsed off when the shower runs out, too bad. Now, at this moment, you'll excuse me while I get changed, huh? Right, well, that's done. Oh, the other thing that is important to note, that you can only have a maximum of 2 people in this shower. Although what 2 people would be doing a mile up from the earth in a bathroom, I have no idea. Well, following a welcome 6 hours sleep on a very comfortable bed. I'll give you a heads up here. That seat is about 4 inches longer than the 777 seat. And I know that for a fact because I remember on the last flight my legs or my feet hanging over the edge. Not the case with this, and that makes a huge difference to sleep. But for now, I'm in one of the 2 bathrooms. I'm going to have a shower and I'm going to have a shave on board an Emirates A380. Showered, shaved and refreshed in 3.5 minutes. On the first flight, Jacques, one of the cabin crew, said I should try the steak out of Dubai because it is cooked to your liking, in other words, medium. I'm going to find out in just a second. And I think on any flight, food is important, and I love the way that Emirates set the table in first class. It's something to watch. They are very switched on when it comes to presentation. But why is there no free Wi-Fi? You can get free Wi-Fi, but you have to be an Emirates member travelling on an Emirates ticket. Now, I'm a member, but I'm travelling on a Qantas ticket, so I don't register when I put in my Emirates number, and I reckon it's a bit of a con. Now, I think if anyone's paying this much money for first class, they deserve access to the Wi-Fi for nothing. But I've just had the steak on the menu. Unbelievably good. I wouldn't go for the potato again, but the steak itself was so tender, and to cut it, you needed no pressure whatsoever. Whatever it is that Emirates is doing in the kitchen back in Dubai, it's translating to magnificence here in the air. 8.3 out of 10. Now, let me answer the question that I posed at the start of this video. is the 777 first class better than the A380 on Emirates? The A380 for me is the winner. Now remember, I'm not comparing the Gamechanger suite, the one that has the floor to ceiling doors and only 6 in first class, but of the 2 that I've flown today, I love this one because the bed is longer, which means my feet don't hang over the edge. I love the lounge down the back, albeit it's a bit noisy, and the bathrooms up the front with the showers are just amazing. But that's not to say that any of these first class suites wouldn't make you smile. It's certainly a far better product than business class. Now, I've got to go and prepare for a landing, and you've got other things to do, I'm sure, but could you please like this video? And for those of you who are not subscribed, I ponder why. Perhaps you could remedy that situation for me right now. That's it. I'll say thanks for watching.
And stay passionate.
It's a product that's being phased out, but over the last year or so I have flown and, oh, the lights have gone off. Why'd they do that?